YouTube? This is Charlie426, and today we have a review of an NXEDGESTYLE figure. This is the review of the NXEDGESTYLE Guren Type-08 Elements SEITEN, or I believe in the anime they don't call it that, but the name I just said was more on the box name, but I believe on the wikis and other people how they usually mention it as the Guren SEITEN 8 Elements. So yeah, this was basically another Knightmare frame from the Code Geass series. This was more likely seen in the later half on the series instead of the early one we see is the current Guren Type 2, I believe, or something like that. And it's a much more simple design than the one you see here as well. And for those who are watching, yes, I have reviewed the 1/35 scale model kit of the Guren from Bandai, so please check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below as well. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So, as I mentioned, this is a NXEDGESTYLE figure, and if I remember correctly, when the NXEDGESTYLE figures came out, everybody was very enjoying it. Everybody was very hyped up for the figure. A lot of people were buying them or reviewing them. For me, at that time, I believe that was a time where I was a very grumpy person, where I really didn't care as long as I didn't really care for any other products other than model kits. But now, since I'm into both figures and Gunpla kits, I guess it's a good time to check this out as well. Alright, so obviously in the NXEDGESTYLE product line, there's also some Gundam type figures. There's also from Digimon, other Super Robot series as well. But the main reason why I chose this is that, I don't know, I really like the color of it. The fact that I have tried the model kit of the Guren Type 2. So yeah, I guess I wanted to try out this as well. And also, it definitely looks better than the one like I see from other product lines, because as much as I do like the Knightmare frame, I'm not a big fan of how the chest design is and how it was seen in the anime, because I know for the chest part they kind of went with some sort of dragon look on the chest. I was not a big fan of that, but at least this product line did not show that too much. So yeah. Okay, so as usual, let's go on with our usual reviews. So let's talk about components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the figure itself. And then other than that, in the NXEDGESTYLE figure line, they don't give you much stuff. So in this one, you get 2 energy wings for left and right. There's no actual difference between the two. They're just pretty much the same piece, so you can just slap them on in any way you want to. And then we get a hand that has the mass vibration sword, fork knife, I believe. This is like one of those knives that are more exclusive to Japan. Yeah, so it's a very uncommon weapon as far as I know. When we think of Japanese swords, usually we would think of a katana, but this is also one of those things. And as you can see, the hand is actually molded in together here in clear pink, or yeah, I think it's more of a... Now, on my camera, it's light pink, but it's a little bit darker than what you see. It could be the light setup that I have in my room. Okay, other than that, we also get some action bases. Well, sort of an action base, so more of a stand for the figure. So we get the base, and then we get the connection part. We have the connecting point here, and then we get these 3 long sticks, which is basically if you buy multiple, because since every figure comes with a action base, you can also pretty much, if you have like multiple of these, you can connect them together, and then you can also attach these lines here and there to make a more crazy combination of an action base if you want to do so. So you can stack up if you want to. So that's what they're for. But in this review, I won't be showing you that because I only have one. I only have one of these bases, and then I'm not a big fan of this one, so I'll be using a different action base for the review. Okay, so let's get on to the review. So let me just get the stand off and see what we got. So let's talk about articulation as well. Now, despite being a small figure, at first I thought this would be a very limited figure when it comes to articulation, but it's much more better than I thought. Of course, this thing did have the issue that I was kind of concerned about, which was basically loose joints. It's not terrible, but it may need some attention. So let's start with the head. The head is pretty okay, and then we do have a actual moving chicken neck right over there, if you can see that. You can see that the neck joint is also moving a little bit as well. So thanks to that, we have a nice, it can go down that much. Very big head when you think about it. And then it can go up that much. Now, I'm not sure if these are like in scale or pretty much the same as an SD style configurations. But yeah, it does look overall balanced for as far as I know. Nothing looks too big, nothing looks too small. It just looks pretty right, if you ask me. And then, okay, let's talk about the arms. We have the arms. It can rotate 360. I don't think the arms can pull out. I haven't tried that out yet. but it seems like they are also connected as a ball joint, so we have a nice forward and backward movement. It can't go to the side 90 degrees, more like less than 90 degrees, and your hands, or at least this side of the hand, is a peg, and you can pull it out to replace it with the other hand. And when it comes to bending, we have a 90-degree bend like this, but also the lower arm does rotate on its own, so I believe you are able to kind of change the position like this, but still I think 90 degrees is pretty much that you'll get from this type of articulation or rotation. I should mention that we do have, well, they don't actually provide any parts for this, but that we do have the slash Harkins right over here, so you can move them up front if you want to do so, but that's all you can do. Of course, this may get in the way with the head articulation, but if you know where to put it, I think you won't have any big problems. Before we go to the obvious claw arm, let's go to the back section. So this is the back section. Nothing too special, but we do have an action-based connector here, and a hole for on the bottom section as well. So this, you have two options for that. And if you look at the side here, we have these holes, which are actually holes for ball joints, which is the part where you connect the energy wings. So when I first got this, I believe that hole was just too tight, that I was worried that I was going to break this while putting it in or pulling it out. So I had to get a small screwdriver and then kind of enlarge the hole a little bit. And now it's okay, but kind of pops out a little bit easy, but still better than breaking it. Okay, so now let's get to the obvious large, long claw arm. Other than the arm designs are kind of different when it comes to shoulders. This one's smaller, this one's bigger, and this one has a spike. No spike here. Despite that, it still can't go to the side 90 degrees, so that's less than 90 degrees. Oh, and also while you guys did see it, I believe the lower arm here, not only the lower arm, but the arm itself does have a 360 twist as well. So, of course, just be aware where you're moving it, because the arms may not match up. So once again, I believe this section, yeah, we do have a 360 twist on the arm itself. On the lower arm, I don't think we actually have the articulation here. So, and then for those who know the Guren, it technically should have the arm extension part here, or arm extension gimmick. But while the model kit does have that, this figure does not have that. So, oh well. Well, at least it's a cheap figure, or at least I got mine cheaper. So when it comes to bending, I think we do get a 90-degree bend, or slightly more, but still you get the idea. And the hand itself is a ball joint, so you can rotate it around. And thanks to the way how it's connected, you can actually move this up to do the firing pose with the heat blast with this weapon. I forgot the exact name for this claw arm weapon, but basically from this orb you see, it fires a very a powerful heat blast kind of thing. So yeah, and while all the fingers don't move, yeah, these fingers don't move at all. So just keep that in mind. Now, one of the parts that did give me a little problem is number one was the ball joint right over here. It was a little bit too smooth, I guess. Too smooth or too loose. So the hand would not stay here. It would keep falling down on its own like that. And now it's still doing that, but it's much better because I did apply some nail polish right over here. Okay. Now let's get the body. The body has actually a good amount of articulation, so so no ab crunch as far as I know, and then you do have a nice twist on the waist section. I can't say it's not 360 because the end tip here is actually colliding with the waist armor, but still that's about I say almost 90 degrees. So let's say maybe 89 or 88 or 85. Still good enough for a small figure like this. And then if you look at the legs, they are connected as ball joints. On the legs are connected as ball joints, and so that means we can have a nice 90 degree up front kick backwards as well, or a little bit more than 90 degrees. That's pretty good. And then it is able to go to the side, but less than 90 degrees because the armor design. And then there is actually I believe there is a small bend on the legs. So oh, there we go. There's the bend. So we have about a 90-degree bend here. There's no problem. I have no issues with these joints on the legs most of the time. I think it's most of the ankles that I'm having problem with, is that they are also ball joints, as you can see. But at the same time, these were kind of a little bit on the loose side, or one of them were kind of weak. So I think I might need to apply nail polish here as well. But yeah, that was pretty much it for the articulation. And as you can see, and when it comes to color-wise, I think they did a pretty good job. They got the yellow, they got the red, pretty okay. It doesn't feel like there's anything off place at the moment, at least for me. Alright, so I'll be right back with the first set of equipment, basically the wings and the sword, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, this is pretty much the only equipment that you'll have, basically the energy wings and then the extra MVS sword on the left hand. So yeah, this is pretty much it. As you can see, the wings are on the back, and then as I mentioned, I'm not using the action base that was provided because I like to actually plug the action base onto the back side instead of on the bottom, because most of the times if you plug it on the bottom, the action base and the legs do collide a lot, so which is why I do prefer to have a separate action base like these, and it works pretty well. Now I should mention that regarding the wings, if the wings do have any articulation, since they are on ball joints, technically they do move a bit, but as I mentioned, they do fall off easily as well. They don't lock into place, but they do have like a little bit up down movement, up movement, and then it pops out. So yeah, but still it works, and it can also kind of go forward and backward a little bit. And since it's also on a ball joint, you can change the angle if you want to do so as well. And that's pretty much it. And I would like to mention that I believe when this was announced, they also did show like a prototype of a next NX Edge style figure of the Lancelot Albion. I'll leave a picture here if I can still find it, but sadly that product never released up to this point. But who knows? Maybe if they keep going on with the NX Edge style figures, I know they are still making them. I know they are planning on releasing more stuff from the Evangelion series, but I'm not sure on like how the other robot series will go on. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the NXEDGESTYLE Guren Type 8 Elements SEITEN. So but definitely it's a good start. It's a good startup figure for those who want to start collecting the figures, or if you're curious yourself about this product line, I think this is a very good example to start on, because there's not many problems other than the loose joints, but I think that's mostly my fault for like pretty much moving around this and here and there to check out a few stuff. But overall, it's a very solid figure, and the joints can be fixed pretty easily, and it looks very good on display as well. And yeah, it's one of the few, I believe it's the only the Code Geass Knightmare frame in the product line as well, so it's definitely worth a try. Anyway, if you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!